Take a look at this destruction. Do you see that? Part of that highway completely missing.
But do you think New Orleans and Houston are going to do the everybody on mute?
They might. All right, well, still to come this morning, our Back to School series continues. And sticking with Jay's traffic report this morning, at least one person is dead and several injured after a school bus flipped on its side. Well, covering America this morning, former Governor Nikki Haley is now under fire for not acknowledging slavery when asked what started the Civil War. All right, listen, I'm just the messenger. A new trend amongst American workers is emerging to push back against burnout, and it's called Act Your Wage. We do know that this is a fatal shooting. As you can see here, the coroner just got to the scene. Heartache in St. Helena Parish this morning. Classes now canceled until Friday following a deadly school shooting. And the U.S. Senate passed the supplemental aid bill Tuesday. That vote was a lopsided one, passing 70-29. The ongoing problems within the state's juvenile justice system will again be addressed today. For the third week in a row, December brings more violence to the capital area with multiple shootings reported over the weekend. At this point, you have all seen this video that everyone has been talking about. Now, 3 men in Alabama are facing misdemeanor assault charges after this chaotic brawl along the Montgomery riverfront. She speeds up, crashing it. Look, here we go. Crashing it into a lamppost and then boom, flipping the car on its side. Oh my gosh. Luckily, first responders were able to assist her out of the vehicle. An obvious inconvenience for students who live on campus. Just to give you an idea of what students are going through right now, take a look at this video. This was sent in from a parent of a Southern University student. You can see that student going to each faucet, turning it. What do you see? Nothing. No water coming out of there. Meanwhile, Louisiana native Gypsy Rose Blanchard has been released from prison. A former president has a mugshot. That moment following the arrest of former President Donald Trump in Fulton County, Georgia.
So that means you wouldn't do a dating show?
No.
You would not?
Come and find me in real life. As we are experiencing pleasant weather for once here in Louisiana, our friends in Florida can't say the same. Many people hunkering down right now as Hurricane Idalia has officially made landfall.
I have a thing about going to sleep around other people. Well, around strangers. So I don't know if I would.
Does it get a little ugly?
Do you smell what the rock is cooking?
Drama in the British royal family continues to make headlines. We know this is Reggie's favorite kind of story right here. If you haven't already stepped out this morning, let me break it down for you. It is hot out there. Federal aid and donations from neighboring Hawaiian islands continue to pour into Maui after one of the deadliest wildfires in modern U.S. history. And Jeff Landry had a pretty impressive election turnout, winning the governor's race without an anticipated runoff. Now, following that win, state Democrats have been debating why the leading Democrat, Sean Wilson, just couldn't muster up the support. I'm tagging along with Reggie this weekend. You paying for everything?
No.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Breaking overnight. Take a look at this catastrophic image right here of this bridge collapsing. We're going to take another live look at your traffic right now. As you can see in the sky cam there, cars are driving very slowly because of those conditions this morning. I know with some of our favorites, Def Comedy Jam, we're like the kings of comedy. You're used to kind of seeing them trying to get on these tours, open up for the grades and make their way through open mics and stuff like that. But social media has been a huge tool for you.
It's been the greatest thing. It changed my life.
All right, well, trending now. Whew. Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors face off in today's First Looks.
I think you're a little hot up here, Vannia. MG, I thought it was me, but I guess not.
This morning, we're celebrating the legendary Harry Belafonte, a groundbreaking entertainer whose passion for civil rights and humanitarian causes transcended the stage and the screen. Law enforcement and the coroner's office staying busy. They're investigating two deadly shootings just an hour apart. As you mentioned, Liz Muriel is leading that race right now. Now, if she outright wins this race tonight, she will be taking over her boss's job. Obviously, transitioning into that might be a little easier for her. As Solicitor General, you have been in this position for the last 7 years. What are you going to bring to the table if elected? I want you to see just how far this intruder went to go in and disrupt this business, getting past this fence. It's no secret that properties like this one here behind me are major eyesores to the community. Right down here, you can still see those tire track marks from where that man's tire burned completely out and completely melted. Police were right back here on this scene, going through some of that surveillance video with the manager here at Circle K, and this door back here was completely shattered earlier. It's been a long time coming, with some of this traffic equipment being over 30 years old. So this is a pretty bizarre case. Police say they actually got the call from the victim, 26-year-old Juan Reyes Lugos, claiming that somebody was trying to kill him. But by the time police got to the scene here, it was far too late.
The care and the love for one another is gone. And that's the saddest part about this whole thing.
Hattie Scales has lived in her home since the late 80s and says gun violence has never been this bad.
When you got to get on the floor 3 nights in a row and you 75 years old.
Late Tuesday night, Scales found herself awakened by the sound of gunshots, followed by the painful cries of a grandmother.
She said they killed my grandbaby. She walked, she cried. You couldn't get down the street driving, and there was barely room to walk.
The victim, 3-year-old Devin Page Jr., hit by a stray bullet while lying in bed.
We know that the house was not the intended target.
Police say there are at least 3 different shooters. Scales tells me the last couple of nights have been restless for her.
The house next door, a little child got shot 3 nights ago.
A resident of over 30 years at 75 years old, Scales says she has no plans of starting over. Something needs to be done now.
It's one of the saddest things I ever witnessed in my whole life.
Police are urging anyone with information to come forward.
You can call, remain anonymous.
We don't know where to go. We don't know what to do.
September 29th, 2021 is a day Ty Davis says she'll always remember. Months later, she and her mother say they are being forced to pack their bags.
So I tried to go walk outside. You couldn't even see the ground. It was so dark.
Raw sewage filled their apartments after a nearby wastewater treatment plant malfunctioned.
And it's not the first time it's flooded. It flooded a few years back.
Now the city is buying out the property to make it a buffer zone and ensure that never happens again. Davis says she and other tenants were given 30 days to move out. Davis has lived here for 14 years.
We're not throwaways. And that's how I feel, we're being thrown away.
The city has spent well over $1 million in taxpayer dollars on settlements and buying the property. Meanwhile, tenants say they have no idea where they'll go.
If you can't give me any money, give me a voucher. Let me go be able to find something within a certain amount of reasons to live.
Whoever's managing that plant, that's who we need help from.
I took Davis's concerns to East Baton Rouge Chief Administrative Officer Daryl Gizzle, who tells me this is between the property owner and his tenants.
We don't own property as a city, so it really would be up to the landlord to work with the tenants in terms of making their move.
In fact, the settlement with Davis's landlord isn't final until
the property has to be vacant, then we will do the official closing.
I did reach out to the property owner, who at first did not want to comment on the situation. Later, he told me he plans on doing everything he can to help the tenants.